It's Sunday night. Let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk about something called Guardian caps. Guardian caps are basically extra padding that is meant to attach to the helmets that are already worn on the field. What they think they should do is that they should protect players from the force that they could sustain by having a little bit of extra padding. And they have seen some studies that show that about 10 to 33% reduction in concussion. So, I mean, that all sounds really, really good. And the question is, well, why doesn't the NFL mandate this? And that's kind of like they do in practices. They do in some preseason games for certain players. And they are actually working on gathering information. So they are utilized, they are mandated in certain ways from the NFL, but you don't see them on game day. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first is that the NFL and the NCAA for their football and college are very, very strict on what is worn on the field. And that's not part of it. So they would have to change the rules and regulations around what could be worn on the field. Another thing is that by adding the Guardian cap to the existing helmet, that would nullify the certification process and the safety testing that had already gone through. So they would have to go through safety testing and recertify the helmets with the cap on. I'm not saying they're not, it just hasn't happened yet. There's also the question of, if you use it, do these players, are they potentially going to hit harder because they feel more protected? And then that would therefore then negate it would kind of offset any positives because they're just gonna go hit harder. Also, there's been some concerns from the players. They just don't love them as much. They tend to be hotter, I've heard. They're heavier. And so there's kind of this, they can protect my head, but if I'm wearing it all the time and I'm not always gonna be in a situation where I get a potential concussion, is it really worth it? So I will say for the NFL, they are working on it. I think within the practices, they are collecting data. There are researchers out there who are looking for it. And there are helmets out there for the everyday average Joe who maybe is prone to falls. They've got, no more thought about living in a bubble, but you can absolutely wear a helmet or have some padding for that. So there's definitely some movement towards that. You've seen it probably. It looks pretty funky as far as it just doesn't look like it fits the person and that it's very bulky. But the idea is that ideally it can support injury, and wearing it during practice, there's a lot of potential for concussion and subconcussive hits, and reducing that is always a good thing to prevent CTE. So we'll see if we see it in the future.